Summer, the time of the year when students around the country are off for a few months. Break until the start of the fall semester. A time when the balance of school and life flip in your favor. And now it's finally time to relax. No, it's actually time to do all those things that you've been saying you were going to do since like the beginning of the year, and now that you actually have time, you're actually going to do it, right? Right? You know, like getting in shape, writing that book you've been hiding away, or even taking the time to read any books at all. Or maybe even going to space on your own personal spaceflight company. You know, the summer project. The thing every summer that you've been waiting to get around to. Well, I'm Sho, and this series will capture my attempts at accomplishing my summer projects. From simple projects like building a model to something I've never done before, like making a documentary. This series isn't about results. It's about the process and what we learn in the face of failure and success. Summer projects are meant to be fun, relaxing, insightful, and something we look forward to, and I intend to take the same approach. Join me, Sho, for my series, The Summer Project. Episode 0. Projects. So, what is a project? It obviously has a lot of definitions, but I especially like the first one that they give. An individual or collaborative enterprise that is carefully planned to achieve a particular aim. I'll explain in a bit why I think this is appropriate, but for me, a project is something that goes beyond the scope of regular activities. And in a business setting, if you were asked to do more of the same work you already did, that's not really a project. That's just sad workplace practices. And if you like to grow vegetables, growing a 10th tomato plant is not a project, just more tomatoes that you won't eat. A project to me would be working outside of your day-to-day activities, you know, like maybe meeting clients or managing your own team or planting some jalapenos with your tomatoes so you can make some really sweet salsa, you know, something more than that regular day-to-day. Now, are all projects created equal? I mean, obviously not, but reading around the internet, there's some advice on how to help your project be successful, and a little bit of what I think might help as well. Now, I'll put the links of everything I talk about in the description below. All right, number 1, goals. You know, having a goal is the first and most obvious part of a successful project. I mean, just saying I should do something because I haven't in a while is not really the best way to start a project. Imagine if tomorrow you started working out after not exercising for years, it probably wouldn't stick. You might hurt yourself, you'd be really, really sore, just not like the experience at all, and that project to get in shape just wouldn't succeed. So finding a way to link your project to your life goals or a 5-year plan or something will help you be more motivated towards that project. Choosing a project that's aligned with who you are is a key predictor of success. And not to say doing something out of your comfort zone is an impossibility, but if you want to be a creative, taking on creative projects to expand your skills is definitely worthwhile and aligned with future goals. Like, I'm an audio person who is focused on radio and podcast productions, and this series is an opportunity for me to practice video work, something beyond my regular scope of activities. Lastly, some research says that if you have a particularly ambitious project, breaking it up into smaller projects is the best way of tackling it. I just think this is good advice for any project. I mean, having small goals along the way helps our need for that instant gratification. I mean, those smaller accomplishments help us build towards the completion of that final project and helps maintain morale and motivation throughout. Number 2, space. Having the right space to work on your project is important. I think mobile workplaces are great, but sometimes it can be hard to find a place to feel comfortable in. Regardless of your situation, having a space you can consistently complete your projects in will just help you find greater success overall. Number 3, plan. This may seem a lot like goals, but it's more of a concrete strategy to complete those goals. The goal and challenge of this series is to create videos about all the different summer projects I want to accomplish. So how do I make sure I stay on top of it? Well, first, I will be using my Google Calendar to give me daily reminders to work on this project at least an hour a day. Second, I will be enlisting other people to help me. This group setting creates accountability on my part, right? They're expecting me to show up with a camera to record, and if I'm late or don't show up at all, it's really going to hurt my chances at, working with others and completing this project. And lastly, third, I will work on creating a consistent system of work. How I plan each episode will be the same process. So 1, I'll start with an idea. 2, I'll do some research. 3, I'll contact a guest or subject if I think it's appropriate. 4, I'll do a rough draft of the script. 5, I will capture the footage I need to. 6, we will enter initial assembly. 7, I'll lock the script after looking through the initial assembly. And then 8, I will capture the voiceover, this part that you're hearing right now. 9, I will lock the edit, meaning that pretty much the video's done. I guess 10, release. So by following this rough process every week, I will know where I am in the production phase of my projects and what I have coming up. By keeping this consistent instead of jumbling the order around every week, this allows me to focus on the content and less worried about missing any elements from my videos. 4, empathy. Really, how to help make sure the project you are working on doesn't feel Sisyphean, overwhelming, boring, something you wouldn't look forward to. Really, it's about understanding your limits. If you are particularly frustrated with a project, make sure you find some time to step away from it and clear your head. However much time that needs to be. Getting an important part done today is not as important as getting the project done ever or at all. So be sure to show some self-empathy and give yourself a break both for breaking that deadline and from the hard work you've already been putting in. And lastly, I'd like to quickly talk about habits. The thing that takes way more than 30 days to form. No matter how many 30-day free trials you get your hands on, it's just not enough time to actually build any habits. It's said that habit formation can take months, if not longer, especially for those habits that we subconsciously don't want to form. So don't fall into the trap of thinking if you work on a project for 30 days, it'll be easier after the quote-unquote habit is formed, because for some it's less, and probably for most, it's more. Now, back to the definition of a project. An individual or a collaborative enterprise that is carefully planned to achieve a particular aim. That makes sense, right? Because without an individual or collaborative group, there's no project. Obviously, but without careful planning, there are no systems to help guide the project. And without a particular aim or goal, the project has no barometer for success or failure. There would be no way of telling when the project should be abandoned or if it's ever done at all. So there we have it, episode 0 of the Summer Project. Project is in the can. I hope you learned a little bit about projects and maybe something about this upcoming series. I will be back next week to bring you episode 1 of the Summer Project, where I will kick off with a small project that I think is a great start to this series. Thank you so much for your time, and thanks for watching this video. I've been Sho. You can find me on my Instagram page at Hack Media Network, where I post about other projects I work on, including my audio work. Let me know in the comments what your summer project or projects are and what you're doing to get them done. Thanks again. Take care. I'll see you next time.